What's going on, Flix Talkers? Here to give you guys my early review on Superman. Now, I am watching this on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and this is from a Amazon pre-screener. So I was able to actually go on Amazon Prime or using my Prime code and purchase these tickets early and watch it in IMAX. So I'm very, very excited about that. But I wanted to do like kind of this intro before the movie. The movie starts in like 10 minutes and it's actually piling up because it's summertime and there's kids out here with their friends and everybody's on summer break and yada yada. And it's the fun time of year, right? Getting warm too. It's getting warm. And I'll be honest, I think I'm the perfect demographic for someone to review a movie like this because I've literally only seen the first two Christopher Reeves Superman movies. Superman 1 and Superman 2. That's it. People told me to skip Superman 3 and 4, I believe, so I'm going to do it. That being said, I just wanted to go in saying that I have seen the early reviews from last night. Everyone's giving it really, really high praise. But once again, someone that doesn't follow these type of movies, really, I'm more of a Marvel head, most of you guys know. And I know that's not saying much as we've had like one of the worst years in Marvel history, and I can totally agree to that and attest to that. But even though I do love Marvel, I love superhero movies in general, or vigilante movies in general. I had fun with the Suicide Squad. I had fun with the Batman, which are DC projects. You know, I grew up on the Batman from 1989 with Michael Keaton, one of my favorites. So I can definitely appreciate the Superman character. So I'm going into this with high hopes. James Gunn behind the camera or behind, you know, everything involved. And I just want to let you guys know I am setting the bar pretty high. And let's just go inside. And I think the movie's a couple of hours, and I'll let you guys know my honest review, pros and cons, hopefully if I can remember everything. That's why I wanted to start doing these in the car more as well, because once I got home, I forgot everything I wanted to say. So let's just go in there, guys. Hit that big thumbs up to support the channel. Consider subscribing today for more. I'll catch you guys in a couple hours, all right?
2 hours later.
All right, Flix Talkers, I am out of the theater, and first and foremost, man, that was extremely entertaining. I'm so happy I took a chance on this. And you know what? This is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that just blows the box office off the damn hinges. This one's going to be the one. I'm being honest. This one is going to be the movie. Y'all thought it was Fantastic Four? It's going to be this one. This is going to be the one that everyone talks about for summer or even just a year of 2025. Sure, Fantastic Four is going to do well. I'm telling you. I know. I started this video off saying I'm a Marvel head. There's something about getting a Marvel guy behind the camera, James Gunn, and doing what he did with this DC property. He had fun with it. He made it its own. And like I said, whatever I say here, it's going as an unbiased. I'm just a viewer of movies, guys, and I am not a super fan or know anything about Superman, all right? Other than the first two Christopher Reeves movies, like I had said. I never saw Man of Steel. I never saw Batman versus Superman or anything in between. That being said, I feel like I can give a good unbiased review and say I had a great time with this movie. So let's just go over the pros for this movie, starting off with some of the great cast. Got to start off with Superman himself, David Corenswet. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but this guy did great. I don't know if I know him from anything else, but he really showed me that someone with enough charisma, with enough heart, with enough likeness, with a very PG edge to him, because I don't know if I ever thought about Superman going really edgy or cursing or anything like that, but there's a few times where he's like, oh, darn it, oh, shoot. And I'm like, that's giving me like very just clean cut, all American boy vibes. I don't know why. I don't know why. And he's, you know, the boy in blue, they call him, you know, he's here to protect everyone, not just Americans, everyone. So I definitely got that feeling. You know, we get to see his grandparents as well. He has a sweet backstory. Also, they mention his actual parents from the planet that exploded. You know, that's all I can say, really, if you haven't seen the movies, the original Christopher Reeves movies. And I thought his portrayal of Superman itself was once again just very fierce when it needed to be, too. He wasn't just a punk or just, like I'd said, too clean cut. When it came to the action, also, he had some jokes in here, too. James Gunn wrote some great jokes for him along the way, and I had fun with the script as well. It was a good balance. I didn't know how wild James Gunn was going to get with the script as far as, well, maybe he didn't write the script, but as far as like, was this going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy, just wildness? Or, you know, how was the soundtrack going to be? Because everybody knows about the James Gunn soundtracks when it comes to Guardians. It was a nice balance. It was a nice mixture, and it didn't feel out of place or it didn't feel like it was trying to be Marvel. It felt very cartoony. I know I'm jumping off track because we're supposed to be talking about Superman, the character himself, but I loved this choice for Superman. And you guys let me know in the comments before we get deep into it, where do you rank this Superman? Because like I had said, I don't know the other Superman, so I can't really compare it. But I liked his aesthetic. I like even Clark Kent. Once you got to see him at the Daily Planet, I just had a good time with him. I had no gripes whatsoever. Now, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I thought she was great. The only thing I would say, even though I am talking about my pros, I wish she had a little more screen time. But that's it. I understand it's a Superman story. It's Superman. But they do have a couple of good connection stories or good connection moments in this movie, which seem very real, especially for a blossoming new relationship. They're only a few months in. I'll get to that when we get to our story. But the characters at hand, I thought she played it up very well. She was very loving. She was very concerning. There's a lot of things in this movie that discredit Superman, and she's there by his side, not believing any of the bullshit, any of the lies, any of the drama. She's there by her man's side. And I really, really liked her character for that. She grew on me a lot. In the third act, she really shines. I just wish I would have saw a little bit more with her, but that's okay. Maybe the extended cut. And I know there's a lot of other characters to focus on, but I'm just focusing on the main one. So I'm going to say Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Now, I know of Lex Luthor in the first two movies. All right? Gene Hackman, rest in peace. So that's the only Lex Luthor I can compare him to. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is so damn good in this movie. So damn good. There's a few standout scenes that made me like, my jaw almost dropped of how he was performing these lines. He was really, really good. He was very, very fierce, very manipulative, and very smart. That's the whole thing about Lex Luthor, is that he's always one step ahead. And we start off the movie, I'll jump into my pro of the damn story itself in a second, with him just knowing Superman's next move, to which punch he's going to throw. You know what, grapple move he's going to do. Is the laser eye is going to come out. He's always one step ahead of Superman with his creations, which we get to see. So I love it. He might have been my favorite character in the movie, if I'm being completely honest. I loved him in this movie, in this role. Very, very fierce. It's so crazy how a British guy can pull off an arrogant American so effing well. So effing well. So another pro of mine, guys, because I don't want to be so long-winded with things. I know I got to get concise and more to the point. The story of this is great in the sense of we get a quick backstory at the beginning saying that 300 centuries or 3 centuries, something like that, metahumans exist. They're here. They're part of our world, right? So we know that, these superheroes are going to fight supervillains on a day-to-day basis, it seems like. And we're just thrown into the mix. No origin story, really. I mean, there's origin stories mixed in there and sprinkled in there a little bit, and we get little flashbacks here and there and very sentimental moments and stuff like that with Gramps and Grandma and stuff like that, and basically the people that raised Superman. But you know what? We're living in the now. This is what it is. Lex Luthor and Luthor Corp or whatever his Power Watch or it's Planet Watch, I think is one of his groups is called. The whole point is that Lex Luthor is trying to take over the world one country at a time. And he is very manipulative, and he just has everybody on his side in the government. And it was a very terrifying sight to see. Now, he has, I don't want to give too much spoilers, but he has something that is a equivalent or basically the greatest foe to a Superman. And it is displayed throughout the whole movie that Superman cannot defeat this thing. And it is awesome because we are thrown right into the mix of action right away. And we hit the ground running, guys, and we never stop. So if you guys were looking for something that had more exposition or, this ain't your grandpa Superman, I'm going to tell you that. This ain't the Christopher Reeve Superman. It's really not. I had so much fun with this story, the direction that they went. My theater was packed. They all had a good time with it as well. They were laughing at the funny parts. They were cheering when Krypto did, whatever Krypto does, which Krypto the dog does a lot of things in here. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Krypto is like their favorite character. A very, very fun character. And he was an asshole at times too. I can say that, But he was a very, very fun sidekick that had some back lore, and they explain where Krypto even came from, or, at the end of the movie. Another huge pro of mine, guys, are these action sequences. Jesus Lord, they are so wild and just crazy. When he's fighting, some kaijus, when he's fighting amongst, other people that are metahumans as well in the realm with Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific and all of there's a lot of people thrown at you. But you have fun with them. That's the whole point. I was trying to decipher, is this too stupid or not? Like, as far as some of the get-ups and the names, and Green Lantern looks so dumb to me at times, but after a while, I didn't care. The charisma just came through in these characters, and I had fun with them. I really did have a good time, and I was smiling from ear to ear, and the music was just enthralling me and pumping me up and making me root for these characters. And that's what you want to do in a movie, is you don't want to question reality. You don't, because you're living in an unexplainable universe amongst humans, amongst people, and you're just there to have a good time. And I really had a good time with this. So the CGI was very, very good, very, very clean. I know there was like an ultimate debate at times. What's better, Marvel CGI or DC CGI? This is pretty good. This one was pretty good. I had no gripes with it, but I have seen some bad CGI from DC in the past, so maybe they went with a different studio. I'm not sure. The score in itself was very, very intense. I wish I would have heard the Superman theme song pumped up a couple more times in scenes, but it wasn't there. They threw some other, score behind it and whatnot, and it did feel like Guardians at some times, but I had a really good time with it. So that being said, let's get into some of my cons for Superman 2025, guys. Starting off with, the script is kind of lacking in some parts. I mean, they try to make it a little more goofy than what you would expect from what Superman would say at certain times. There's that big clip that keeps going around where, people are like, oh God, please don't make this like a Star-Lord type of thing where Mr. Terrific is like, come on, man, get up off your ass, or something like that to Superman. And he's like, I'm trying, I'm doing important things here. And it just seems like kind of like Rick and Morty wacky or something like that. And it doesn't seem like something that a Superman Clark Kent would say, or Superman itself would say. But best believe, Superman gets knocked down and beaten to a bloody pulp many, many times in this movie. Many, many times. And that should have been thrown in my pros. I like to see the realism of it. He can't just be all super all the time. He does have some, weaknesses, I guess. We get to see that really, really displayed in this movie. Now, this is probably going to be the biggest and most controversial hot take. So hold your seat, guys. Keep your finger over that subscribe button. Don't do anything drastic. But I couldn't help but feel that the timing of this movie perfectly aligned with what's going on in America today. To immigration, to Donald Trump, to worldly international politics. I felt all of that. And if you say you didn't, you're a goddamn liar. You are a goddamn liar, or you don't watch the news. You're not informed at all whatsoever. Now, I know there's a lot of things going on in the press, and James Gunn's brother said, Superman's an immigrant himself, and, he comes from, technically he is. There's even a scene, it just popped in my head right now, where Lex Luthor goes, You know, I hate you because you're an alien. You're an alien. And I was like, illegal alien? Like, just say it already. You know you want to say it. So I definitely got those vibes, guys. And I'm just going to call it what it is. I'm not going to hold my tongue when it comes to that. But then again, I don't know 100%. Is there some things in the comic that are like this as far as the script or the story went out after you guys watched it? Was that like, oh, that was issue number 103? Let me know in the comments below. Like I had said, I couldn't help but think, because the timing is so perfect, to drop a movie like this and not think that this is what James Gunn is trying to convey with his message or whatever, that we're all one in peace and unity and, you know, all this other stuff like that, which I definitely got that vibe from Superman itself as a representative of the human race, even though he's not human himself, that we can always, you know, strive to be better, or we can strive to be super, or he's here to defend everybody. You know, it's because it's the right thing to do. He gives a nice little monologue at the end. And that's it. That's my only gripe. That's my only gripe, is that I felt the politics bleeding through in something like this. Now, is your finger still on that subscribe button? Please take it off. Leave it subscribed. I hope you don't unsubscribe. I hope you just get my point of what I'm trying to convey and my true feelings, you know? Other than that, it was an awesome effing movie. It was an awesome effing movie. So all that being said, guys, I think I'm going to give Superman 2025 a solid 4 out of 5. It was definitely above what I thought I was going to come out of it thinking, I guess. Like I had said in the beginning of the video, I set the bar very, very high because all the super fans were like, this is the best Superman on planet Earth. This is the best thing since sliced bread, basically. But then I had to tell myself, the super fans are saying this. The super nerds. What are the critics going to say? Then I saw the critic score come out. 91%, 84%. I don't know what it's at now. Could be going lower. Not really sure. Either way, I don't trust those critic scores at all whatsoever. I usually go with the audience scores. And I had a very, very good time with this movie. It was very, very enjoyable. There are a lot of parts I don't get because I don't get the comics. I never read the comics at all whatsoever. I never followed Superman. So Superman fans, please, I urge and ask you, leave all of your comments about Superman down below. Was it accurate? Walking out of the theater, was it accurate to what you remember growing up with or reading or other movies of Superman? I would love to know, because once again, I'm just a fan, a viewer of the movie as I saw it today. So that being said, guys, hit that big thumbs up to support the channel. Consider subscribing today for more. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm gone. Peace.